So we're on the tutorial 7 review, step 4, and we're trying to calculate the bonus. Is it the bonus? Yeah, we're trying to calculate the bonus. And so we wrote over here what we know, that they're only eligible for the bonus if they've worked more than 1 year, greater than or equal to 1 year, and that their pay grade dictates the bonus amount. Pay grade 1 is $3,000, pay grade 2 is a $6,000 bonus, pay grade 3 is an $8,000 bonus, and that if they worked less than a year, they're not eligible, and that we want to customize if error message to say invalid pay grade. So we know that this is a nested if function. Hi. Hi. We know that this is a nested if function, and so we are going to work through this together on the board. So we are doing Natalie, right?
Yes.
We're doing on page 384. We're going through the review assignment, and right now we're doing step 5 together. I think I said 4. Step 5. We're doing step 5 together. It's completely up to you if you want to just sit and listen, but we're almost done, and I know you had some questions. Yeah. You and I can sit down and chat about them. Okay? So there's the information that we know. A basic if function we know isn't going to be enough. But we said we could write this in many different ways, and what we're going to do is we're going to nest our if functions. And remember, we were always putting our nested if functions in the false area of the previous one, okay? Something that looked like this. Okay, we would substitute this in for the false area. We're just going to build on that, okay? So let's do this. Let's go ahead and write every single one of these as a basic if function, okay? So let's write the first one as a basic if function, okay? So let's see. Well, we can't use a basic if function. Let's do an if and, okay? So an if and, because we have two things that we have to evaluate. Their years of service and their pay grade, right? Okay, so we'll write each one of the logical tests and the true values separately. So the first one, let's say, what cell is the year of service in for this first person?
M6.
F6? M6. Okay, and pay grade? I6, okay. And I think that's all we need, the years and the pay grade. Okay, so the first one, what does it depend upon for them to get a bonus?
M6 has to.
Yep, their years of service, M6, has to be
greater than or equal to 1.
Greater than or equal to 1. This is the operator when you're doing math. To write it out in Excel, you have to do the greater than sign and then the equal sign. Okay? So that's our first logical test, so we put a comma. What's our second logical test? What else do they have to satisfy? Years eligible, years greater than or equal to 1. What's the other thing that they'll need to satisfy? Or what else do we need to look at?
Pay grades.
Their pay grade. So in this one, I6, their pay grade for the first bonus needs to be equal to what?
3,000.
The pay grade to get that 3,000 bonus is going to be 1, okay? All right, we're logical test 1, comma, logical test 2, close our parenthesis. So right here is our logical test, okay? Then we do our comma, okay? What kind of bonus do they get if this is true? If they have more than 1 year of service and their pay grade is 1, what is their bonus?
It's equal to what's in cell Z6, according to the book.
Oh, they have it in cell
Yeah.
Z6 and 7. Let's just skip that. Let's just do the numbers for now, just so that doesn't get too confusing. So what is the dollar amount?
3,000.
3,000. So we'll write in here our 3,000. Okay? Do we have more to evaluate? Is 3,000 the only bonus that they can get? No. So we have more to evaluate. So that's the true value we put in our comma. Okay? This covers that first piece of information, the years more than 1 and the pay grade equal to 1. Okay? Let's write another if and function. Okay? What's the next thing we need to evaluate for the next dollar level of bonus?
M6. No, wait a minute.
Yep, you're right. M6, which is your years of service. still has to be greater than equal to 1, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's our first test. And our pay grade has to be equal to what for our next bonus level?
2.
2, okay? There's our logical test. First one, comma, second one. Here is our logical test. We're done with that. We're going to put in our comma. If these are true, what is the dollar amount of our bonus? 6,000, that's right. Okay? Let's go ahead and do another one. We have one more to consider. Okay, we know that the years of service have to be greater than or equal to 1. Now the pay grade, what do I write for this one?
3.
Yep, pay grade equal to 3. Remember to make sure you always have your operators in there so Excel knows what comparison to make. Equal to, greater than, less than, etc. Okay, there's my logical test. So I do my comma. Now I'm moving over to the true area. What's the bonus dollar amount for this one?
8,000.
8,000. That's right. Have I covered all 3 bonus levels?
Yes.
Yes, 3,000, 6,000, and 8,000. Is there more though?
Yeah. for the
They
ones
wanted
that
to
don't get
display,
0, right?
they wanted to display NE if it's not eligible, right?
Yeah.
So that's our last piece of it. If it's this, it's 3,000. If it's this, it's 6,000. If it's this, it's 8,000. Well, what if it's none of those? Then they wanted to display, yeah, then it's false, and we put in that NE for not eligible, right?
Yep.
So here we have our first if function, logical test, our first if function true value. And remember then, our nested if goes into that false value here. Okay, so we're moving this up into the false value. We have our logical test number 2, our true value number 2. Our comma, here's our false area. This is where we put this if function into this false area. And we are going to combine all this, and it's going to be a big, long, ugly if and function. But you'll see what it looks like in the end, okay? Just the board isn't even long enough to do this. All right, so we put this one up here in this false area. So if it's not 3,000, it's false. We look here. Is it years of service greater than 1 and pay grade equal to 2? If that's true, it's 6,000. But if it's false, we need to evaluate something else. Is years of service greater than or equal to 1 and pay grade equal to 3? If that's true, then they get an $8,000 bonus. If it's false, the only thing left is that they're not eligible. Okay? So once we write all that out, we got to get all these parentheses in there. Let's see. We have 1, 2 opens, 1 closed, 2 more opens, 1 closed, 2 more opens, 1 closed. So we have 6 opens, 3 closed, which means we need 3 closed on the end there. Okay? So we're going to switch over to the computer, and we're going to put this into Excel, and we're going to make sure that it works. And then we'll incorporate that if error. As if it wasn't long enough, we'll throw in that if error as well. Okay? All right, so we'll just pause this while we switch over.